Hey everyone. So it has been beautiful here today. Oh, it was really windy, but the weather was nice. So guess what I did? Tea dye. I tea dyed everything I could get my hands on. But I wanted to show you a few things. These are tea bags, like to put, I guess, tea in, loose tea and steep it. So I tea dyed some of those. Oh, they're gorgeous. Thank you, Dee. They're beautiful. I love them. And then I also tea dyed some of the Italian paper. And I was like, should I do that? I mean, Italian paper is so beautiful. And I thought, you know what? It's your paper. If you want to tea dye it, tea dye it. So look, and I was not really too careful with it. I did lay a stencil on the back, but I was in a hurry. Things were blowing. So I did get a bit of a stencil on the backs of some of them, and it's beautiful. Of course, this one, you see these little dark spots? There was some rust water in the bottom of one of my pans. So it did that, and I love that too. Of course, I'm all about the grungy, but ooh, isn't it beautiful? I wanted to compare it to one that's not tea-dyed. That has a nice stencil on it too, to see how much difference it made, if any. Okay, so here is the pen nib. Yes, definitely can tell a difference. Especially, see that? Yeah, I love that. But I'm all about the grungy, so this is all about your preference. But to show you, it does tea dye very well. See that? Oh goodness, that's pretty. And like I said, I stenciled the back, or laid a stencil. This one, look at the difference in this one. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. But interestingly enough, you still can see that gold printing, that gold inlay. It's just dulled a little bit, but not a lot. I love it. I gotta say. So I'm curious if I offered tea dyed, but see, look at this. Wow, that does make that look older for sure. Look at this one. Isn't that cool? Can you see the difference really well? Especially in the flowers, but you still see the gold, and that's amazing to me. That's really beautiful. Anyway, to finish my thought, if I offered tea-dyed Italian paper, is that something that you would be interested in, or not as much because it's such beautiful paper and I'm just grunging it up? I mean, I need to have a stopping point, don't I? I need to quit just grunging everything that resembles paper, don't I? Okay, so I did do some fabrics, some laces. Oh gosh, I did so many things today. Like I said, if it wasn't moving, it went to the tea dye water. So let me show you what today's project is. Thank you, Joanne. She shared a Facebook. This was on Facebook, but as I got to researching, the lady that showed this on Facebook has a YouTube channel, and it's an expandable envelope. Isn't that cool? Now, I did some magnets on some of mine. She had Velcro on hers. I do like the Velcro. Oh, I cut this down to it was an 8x6 paper, and I cut it down to 6x6, and this was the piece that is left, and I just put it in there because I'm going to make a little notepad out of it, I think. But I love that. I can see that glued into a book, in a journal, and you can open it up and see there's so much room in there. You could put so many good things. Another one with the magnet. This one is Velcro. These are 6x6. This one was 8x8, I believe. Yes. And this one was 6x6. And I used Music Page. Now, here's some things that I've learned about it. The really thick paper, like I used some Prima, and it was because it was one-sided. I really liked, how I am. I've mentioned before, I hate when something's tea-dyed or pretty and I'm just kind of wasting it. It's in here, no one sees it, and I like to be able to use it. if it's double-sided, it has to be something in here that I'm not crazy about losing. So I used some Prima, and this isn't it. This one was actually a really good weight. This one was almost too thin. So it's kind of a fine line between too thin, too thick. You know, it's kind of like the Three Bears. That one's too thick. This was the Prima, and it was just almost too thick to bend like we want it to bend. I think you don't want it super thin, but you don't want it really thick either. So I have taken some digitals here. This is a little bit heavier than normal copy paper, just a little bit, not much. And I cut it 8 by 8. And this is so easy to do. The only thing I'm doing different than she did, and I'm going to tell you this is the way that I'm going to fold it. Whatever is on your left side will be your flap. So if it's something that you would like to see on the flap and you don't want it to be upside down, keep that in mind. So, and that would be upside down if I did it like that. But I still like it, so I think I'm still going to do it that way. So you have the only thing, it doesn't matter what size. I think you could probably even go down to a 4x4. It would just really look cute. You could go up to 12x12. The thing, you just need a perfect square. So whatever size you want, as long as it's a perfect square. And you can fix it even if it's not perfect. So she folded it into, oh, did I say it was the DIY Daily? I think is what the name of the channel is. I'm going to link it below, but I'm pretty sure it was the DIY Daily. And so she folded her triangle from end to end. I didn't do that because I didn't like the crease in my flap. So I just went about halfway and folded it down like that. I didn't fold this part. But if you watch her video, I don't think she has a video on it. It was actually on her Facebook channel that showed this. So now open it up. And where you see this part, you're going to fold it. Kind of like we did an airplane in school. Or maybe I was the only one folding airplanes. Other people were paying attention. So just fold it like this. And you really want this part to be even. So that's more important. This is, you can still fix it, but this across here is really more important than even that point. So if you're going, now we're going to fold this up, and you can fold it up however, I don't think it said how far to fold it up. I just kind of went where there was probably an inch of the point above that line and did a crease. And I think this paper is going to be perfect. And then you just fold these in, even with this line right here. I'm going to get my bone folder. I've done so much tea dyeing and rust dyeing today that my fingers are a little bit sore from trying to scrub off all the things. My hands, of course, you know, I don't wear gloves. So they always get brown and nasty from the tea, which was fine because you can get that off with lemon juice. But then I was messing with the rust dyed things, and the rust in the tea, immediate black. And that took me a long time to get off. So now open it back up, and where you've just made this fold, I'm going to go ahead and ink it because we're going to, and this was another thing I found, just certain times that it's better to ink. And you'll learn that as you make these. This is a great mass make, by the way. So easy. I'm going to unfold it, and I'm going to do all of my up the top. I probably should have finished what I was thinking there. And this is kind of out of sequence, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it, but you might find this is not the best point to do that right there. Okay, so I've inked that. Sorry, I can't stop now that I've started. ink this part. Okay, now that this is how far we were. We were folded like this. So we open those back up. And where that fold is, you're going to push it in and just fold it backwards, back into itself. So that now this lays even on your side, on the side of the paper like that. So we're going to fold this one in and just fold it back onto the paper like that. And then I'm going to ink again. And you don't have, you know, of course you know that you don't have to ink. That's just my preference. And I like to ink up here too, because all of that does show. And all the rest of it really you can do later. So then she folded this in. I found it for myself was easier to lay a ruler across our line here. And then pull that little tip back. The little tip of your, and that's where I'm going to fold right here. Like that. And I think on this first one, I'll go ahead and show you how to do the magnet. I'm not probably going to, yeah, I'll do a magnet. Okay, so before you start gluing anything, because depending on the weight of your paper, you don't really want your magnet to be all the way in here, because then it's got to go through 1, 2, 3 layers of paper. So what I did was I went ahead and folded this down. That is your next step. You're going to fold this over just however much you want to, where it's pleasing to your eye. Okay? And I know that with that folded, I probably want my I'm going to fold that in so that it's easier to show you. My magnet to be about right here. Around, you don't want it, what I learned on the Velcro, you don't want it too close to the tip or it's hard to get a hold of. You want it kind of in the fatty part. So I just took a pencil and just drew a little line on the outside. And then I opened it up and I measured how far from the point is that line. And then I open it all the way up, measure from the point, and draw a line. That's where I know I want my magnet, because I'm going to glue that magnet onto this side where it will hold on better, if you will. Because I found on some of the thicker weight ones, it wouldn't grab through all of that paper. So I found it was better to get as close to the top as I could. And this is how I did that. So I just used these little bitty baby magnets. I don't know what size they are. I got them off of Amazon. It says 81 millimeter, 8 by 1 millimeter. I don't know if that helps you or not, but that's what the box says. Okay, so I'm just going to glue down one of these where my line is. It's like the other one. I should have taken them apart before I did that, shouldn't I? Okay, so I'm going to glue that right there. Fold up my paper again. Now this is all if you want a magnet. And I'm going to fold this little arrow in. We're going to put glue on it. Hold this back where you can see. I'm going to put glue just on the point of that paper. And then fold it to the inside. And make sure it's stuck down. And if you have any excess glue, wipe it off so you don't you know, glue your envelope shut. Oh, and I'm going to round this. And I'm going to go ahead and finish my inking. And then I'm going to take my magnet and let it magnetize, or, you know, clip on to the one below. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here and shut my flap. Probably a lot of people want me to shut my flap. Just shut your flap. And then I'm going to let that dry before I try to pull it off. But there we have it. Isn't that cool? The next one I think I just want to do with the Velcro. I really think I like that better. But you know, you could also do just the little round, like, banker's box and wrap it around. Of course, then you wouldn't be able to glue it down. But you could, before you glued it to your page, you could put string and glue the string under here and then like tie it. That would be cool. So maybe I'll leave some that I do with no enclosure, and then when I put it in my book, I'll glue some kind of twine or something back there. Okay, so here's our next one. Again, this one is 8 by 8. And I'm going to fold up that triangle all the way to the point. I'm not going to fold that end. I'm just going to fold my right side. And then I'm going to make my airplane. Fold it up. And then I think, well, let's do the sides. We're going to fold this over to meet this line right here. You see how I did that? It's just all the way down to the point. Same on this side. This is the easiest, and I thought it was so much fun, and it's so clever. I mean, gosh, she did an amazing job with this. So then we're going to turn it the opposite way. I'm going to push that in and let it meet. Same with this side. We're going to push that in on our fold, and we're just going to fold that right back down on itself like that. And then I'm going to create my crease on the triangle here, just holding this on the line. I'm going to fold it down and then back in like this. Fold down my flap, just making kind of sure that these sides are even and that your little flap is even with your deal. And it might be a little off. If it is, that's not the end of the world. And then I round my flap. And there you have it. How easy is that? At this point, I probably will go ahead and ink all of the lines, because if you're a real picky inker, which I'm usually not, but it bothers me, like on this one, if you look, my magnet didn't stick. I would not recommend using the magnets because the paper that I'm using is just not thick enough to pull that magnet. But anyway, about the inking, see, because I didn't do it before I glued it all, there's a little piece there that doesn't have And I can get it. I can try to fold it like this. Yeah, that worked out good. Kind of pushing it backwards, but I don't want to tear anything either. So I think it would just be easier to do it before you glued stuff down, if you're particular about that. And apparently I am, because it's been bugging me. There we go. And so I'm going to unfold this one, and all the wrinkles. It seems like a lot of trouble, doesn't it? I'm going to ink. I say wrinkles, all of the fold lines. See all of my things that I've had to ink. The reason for that is because when you open it, you can see all of that. So maybe it would be better to have double-sided paper where you don't have to worry about that. And then it wouldn't bother you, or it wouldn't bother me. Because that's kind of a nuisance to do all of that. So now we're going to just put glue on our little triangle here. I think it looks a lot better when it's all inked, but I gotta say that was quite the job going around all of that. One that I didn't care for. It took longer than I thought it should take. And I'm still doing folds. Here we go. Well, and evidently I missed this one. Look at that. Okay. That's better. But isn't that a cool little envelope? I just think that's so cool. All right, so I'm going to use Velcro on this one. Little Velcro dot. You know, I got these at Hobby Lobby forever ago. Never used them. But I've been using them a lot lately. But if you don't have a Hobby Lobby and you don't want to spend, because they're more expensive at Hobby Lobby, and this was before I discovered they have them at the Dollar Tree. Now they're bigger and they're square, but you could always cut them to the shape that you want. You know, if you wanted just a little sliver or you wanted them to be round like this, you could just cut them whatever size you want. So I just kind of put it in the middle, not right at the edge, because like I said, if you get too close to that little flap, it seems like it's hard to get a hold of. So I put it kind of in the meaty part. And there you have your cool little, wouldn't these make great like for gift cards and things like that? I think this is just, of course I'm thinking of it like for my junk journal, because that's just really great space. Or you could use them for ephemera. I just think they're really neat. You could decorate, you know, do some stamping, whatever you wanted to the outside. But like I say, this was not my idea. My friend Joanne tagged me in Facebook, is where it popped up. And I did go to her YouTube channel, the DIY Daily. And I believe that's what it is. If I'm incorrect with that, I will put it across the screen. But I kind of scanned through her videos to see if she had one. I did not see it, if there is one, or I would link that. But I would just advise taking a peek at her channel. She has some really neat things. So I've made all of these most of them off camera. But I just think, you know, as far as getting something that will hold a little notebook or some ephemera, a neat pocket idea, this is it. Because see, honestly, it's not very thick depending on what you put inside. This was some of the heavier paper, so it's pretty girthy. So, you know, just use your own, whatever kind of paper, how you like it, the thickness that you like. This is finally sticking. But I love this. And like I say, in my opinion, the one I liked the best was just a little bit heavier than copy weight. I think copy weight is what, 20 or 22? And I would say this is probably 26, 24, 26. It's just a step above. But I love these. I hope that you like them. I hope that you'll try some and check out her channel. Oh, here's another one. This one I did out of Music Page. And I actually ended up putting two together because one sheet was just not, it was too thin. Not that it's really flimsy paper, but it just, to put on the magnet. I think if I was using the Velcro, that would have worked better. Also, I think the idea of gluing it to your book page and putting a string behind that you can tie is a wonderful idea. And let me know what you guys think about the tea dye and the Italian papers. Do you think I ruined it? The beautiful papers? I think some will think I did because they like the cleaner look. And I think some that are grungy like me will like this. I think it'll be a half and half. I'm not sure exactly. I love the Italian paper so much, and I think that I love this, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about it, if I feel like I defaced it or not. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.